Now this is what happens. Verse 8. When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his robes. By the way, when you read that, Elisha, the man of God, isn't that neat to read that? I mean, could you imagine that you lived your life in such a way, like everywhere Elisha went, when they talked about him behind his back, they would say, oh yeah, that's Elisha, the man of God. Isn't that cool? I mean, wouldn't that be nice if that's how people talked about you behind your back? Wouldn't it be cool? Oh yeah, that's Mike, man of God. You know, oh yeah, that's Shirley, woman of God. Isn't that like something to shoot for? Isn't that cool? Man of God. When I was in high school, by the way, that is not what my goal was. I mean, I was pretty shallow. I had a shallow mission. There were two things I wanted people to know me for. I wanted them to think, oh yeah, there's Jacques, star athlete, you know? Or, oh yeah, there's Jacques, gift to all women. Yeah, my plan didn't work out so well. They looked at me and said, oh yeah, it's jock and jerk, you know? And that's kind of how that situation ended up. But my goal now is this. When people talk about me, I want them to think, oh, Jacques, man of God. I want to live my life that way. When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his robes, he sent him this message. Why have you done this? Send the man to me, and he will know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman went with the horses and chariots, and he stops at Elijah's house. Gets out, knocks on the door, and instead of coming out himself, Elisha sends a messenger out and says to him, this is what I want you to do. Go. Wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan River, and you will be clean. You'll be healed. So you're thinking, that's good news, right? I mean, there's a cure. Something good's going to happen. This is going to be a positive turn in the story. Verse 11. But Naaman goes away angry. And he says this, I thought that he would surely come out to me and call on the name of the Lord and like wave his hand over the spot on my arm and poof, my leprosy would be gone. What was he looking for? He was looking for a magical religious experience, wasn't he? I mean, he was looking for a wow religious experience, a glamorous religious experience. And I wonder today, how many people in our churches get caught in the trap of always looking for this glamorous religious experience in which God does this great big huge miracle and all of a sudden we feel and sense His presence all over again. How easy is it for us to get caught in that and we disobeying the simple commands? So Naaman's pretty ticked. And he says to his servants, come on, aren't the rivers in Damascus, my homeland, better than the waters of Israel? Couldn't I just wash there and be clean? And he storms off in a fit of rage. Boom, he's out. Steam, like, coming out, both ears. He's angry. And so his servants literally have to run after him in verse 13. And they said to him, hey, listen, if the prophet had said for you to do some great thing, wouldn't you have done it? He says, well, yeah. Well, why, if he says to you something this simple as just wash and be clean, won't you listen? So, like most men, when they finally calm down, good point, you know, and he listens to his servants. And he goes down, verse 14, and dipped himself in the Jordan River 7 times, as the man of God had told him. By the way, I think that's how we ought to be baptized in our church. You know, it's biblical, right? I think we ought to baptize people 7 times. You know, I mean, wouldn't that be cool? I mean, talk about our baptism stats going through the roof, you know? You know, we could multiply our baptisms by 7 and do it biblically. I think this is a great idea. It's got some bonuses too, you know? Because if you're still breathing after the 7th time and you come up, great. If not, no backsliding, you know? So it's kind of it's a win-win. And so I think there's something our elders have really got to wrestle with here. And so God told him to do this. He did it. What's the result? He comes up out of the water, and his flesh is restored like a little boy's. He's cured. Isn't that cool? And he's so stoked about it, he gets on his stuff and he runs together and he grabs his servants back to Elisha. He bangs on his door. Elisha comes out and this is what he says. He says, now I know there is no God in all the world except the God of Israel. In other words, now